You are Locked On Rockets Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Another fun one tonight for the Houston Rockets as they go into Cleveland and for the second consecutive game, knock down the team that has been the best team in the NBA all season long. As the Rockets, are they making a statement that says, hey, this actually is one of the better teams in the NBA, that being the Houston Rockets. We got a lot to get into tonight here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Michael Connor. For those of you listening on the Locked On Rockets audio feed, appreciate you guys listening as well. And don't forget that you can find this show anywhere that you get your podcast for free. We got a lot of good to get into. Like I mentioned, this overall statement win for the Rockets, the good throughout it, some of the tough times towards the end of it. The truth about Amen Thompson. What's the truth about Amen Thompson? I'm going to make you wait a few minutes before I tell you that. And I do want to give before we take a look at the next one for the Rockets for a couple of seconds, a little bit of love again tonight to Steven Adams and his role that he has played and turning into a very important player for this Houston Rockets team on any given night. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Rockets Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right. I mean, there's not a lot that you can complain about, right? Guys, think about this. Think about this right now. Now, look, I know down the stretch, it gets a little tight, right? Cleveland makes their run. I say this literally every show because this is the truth with basketball and the NBA. It is a game of runs. You could have a 30-point lead all night. At some point, the other team is going to put together a run to tighten it up a little bit. Not necessarily tighten it all, but to make it a little bit less. There is always going to be especially when you're playing a team like Cleveland that has been at the top of the Eastern Conference all season long, has been at the top of the NBA overall record all season long. The Rockets, by the way, made them pull off. Made Cleveland pull off a first this season with that loss tonight. No, they didn't get them to double-digit losses. Cleveland goes to 36-9. Rockets improved to 30-14. But they forced Cleveland into losing their third consecutive game. That's not happened this year. Cleveland had only lost 2 games in a row twice. It's pretty easy when you only had, 6 losses coming into this stretch now, where they've lost, 3 in a row. And, of course, 2 of those come at the hands of your very own Houston Rockets. You know, from a confidence-building standpoint, this matters a lot for the Rockets. You know, it puts a sour taste in the Cavs' mouth. You know, I thought initially tonight, you saw the Cavs come out with that tenacity, that kind of bad taste in their back of their mouth for what the Rockets did to them the other night at the Toyota Center. Of course, Cleveland coming off of a loss last night to Philadelphia as well doesn't help. But I felt like you saw that in the first few minutes of the game. I mean, was it Donovan Mitchell came out and knocked down the first 5 points for them real quick, bang, bang. And I felt like the Rockets really, really weathered that storm. And once they did that, they kind of turned the Jets on a little bit. I mean, look, the Rockets, like most teams, you shoot like they did tonight, you're going to win. Was it the best shooting in the fourth quarter? Of course not. That's life of being a Rockets fan. But you put up the overall numbers that they put up tonight when you score 135, you're going to win. With this defense, you're going to win every time. Now, they did end up giving up 131 tonight. That'll happen, right? That will happen. But I just thought that they really dealt with the initial punch that Cleveland came out with. Cleveland came out, I thought, with everything I expected out of them. We kind of talked about it at the end of the last show. And if, by the way, you're new to the channel tonight and you've not seen the shows before, we're here after every game. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. You can come back. We'll be back for the next one as well, which we'll take a little bit of a look at. The Rockets will play again on Monday, so we'll have tomorrow night off from the show, and then we'll have Monday, Tuesday for you guys to start the week, Boston and Atlanta. This is a tough road trip, and that's a great start to a tough road trip for the Rockets with a good win over a team. And I really like the fact that tonight you went into a place that, I don't know about you guys, but watching it through the television, I feel like you could really feel the environment. It felt like a pretty hostile environment. I don't think the Cavs fans liked some of the things probably that they saw from their team, or the things that weren't called against or for their team the other night in Houston at the end of the game. I'm really talking about the Alperen Sengun push that the last 2-minute report said should have been called. But they've been the best team in the league all year. Nobody's kind of really pushed them around like that. And the Rockets kind of did the other night. Of course, it was tight, but they really, I thought, out-physicaled them in that game. And then again tonight, initially it didn't feel like the Rockets were going to be the team to do that, and it was going to be Cleveland. And that changed very quickly. Very, very quickly for this Rockets team, as they found a way to kind of force the game into their style. And that's a calling sign of a good team, correct? You do those kind of things consistently, that's what makes you a good basketball team. And that's why this team plays the way that they do. And I mentioned this a minute ago. Really think about this. I mean, guys, it is January 25th. The Rockets have 30 wins on the 25th of January. I know that you guys, like me, have put yourself through it the last few years of this franchise. I mean, last year was like oh man, this is a lot better, This is a lot better. Last year they went 41-41. I was trying to pull it when they picked up win number 30. Last year they picked up win number 30 on the season. Oh, does this not show their record? Well, that's stupid. Oh, yeah, it does. I'm sorry. I'm just reading as I go live on the show. Last year, they picked up their 30th win on the 12th of March. Month and a half, almost 2 months ahead of schedule from last year. Of course, the season before that, the Rockets only won 22 games. Season before that, they won 20. Year before that, they won 17. And the year before that, they won 44, the last year of D'Antoni in the Harden era. But that was also a shortened COVID season. January 25th, we're talking about a team that is 30-14. That is right there at the top of the Western Conference. Now, they're 6 games out of the 1 seed, but they are the 2 seed ahead of Memphis. They, of course, have that tiebreaker over them, which matters. And they are not only beating teams that they should beat to get this record, they are also beating good teams now, too. They are real. If anybody doesn't want to believe that they're real, even with, again, their offensive numbers say a lot of things about them that they shouldn't be maybe as great as they are. Guess what? They overcome all those things consistently. And that's why they're sitting there tonight with a record of 30-14. I just have to keep saying it because part of me doesn't believe that it's real. On the 25th of January. Absolutely crazy considering how the last few years have gone for this franchise. Let's talk about the truth of Amen Thompson. What's the truth about Amen Thompson? I'm going to tell you about the truth of Amen Thompson, and I'm going to tell you here in just a couple of seconds on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. Right now, words are hard. Right now, though, I want to tell you about FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. The FanDuel app is easy to navigate, has a variety of bets that keeps every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no waiting around for your winnings. Whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this NFL playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Locked On Rockets Postcast here tonight on a Saturday night. Thank you to all of you that have stopped by and are watching live. I'm your host, Michael Connor. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Come on back. Join us. We're live after every single game. If you're looking for this show in its audio form, go ahead and check out the Locked On Rockets page. Anywhere that you get your podcast, just go search Locked On Rockets, and guess what it's going to cost you? Nothing. Who loves nothing? I do. And what I love is having nothing overall to complain a lot about, because the Rockets won the basketball game tonight. Again, 2 consecutive games against the best team in the East. An East this season that has looked pretty darn good. And the Rockets have looked pretty darn good all season long as well. As they moved to 30-14. As I mentioned a moment ago, they'll be back in action Sunday. We'll be live for that one on this channel after the Rockets and Boston Celtics. I'm interested to see how that one goes. I am very interested to see how the Rockets kind of respond to that. We'll get a little bit more to that here in just a few minutes. But I want to tell you about the truth about Amen Thompson. I keep doing that to him, and I'm so sorry. It's Amen Thompson, not Amen. Look, we all know it's the thing you say at the end of your prayers, right? Most of us that say them that way. So I always say Amen, and I need to remember it's Amen Thompson. I'm sorry, Amen Thompson. The truth about Amen Thompson now. He is the most important player on this team. Outside of Alperen Şengün. Okay, I'll qualify it a little bit. Outside of Alpi, Amen Thompson is the most important player on this basketball team. You see it again tonight. The guy does everything. The only thing that he does not do is knock down outside shots. 23, 14, and 10 tonight for Amen Thompson in 41 minutes. That's where we're at. He's in year 2 of the league. And you basically look at it since he's become a starter with the injury to Jabari Smith. He is consistently getting more minutes than anybody else on the floor. I mean, he's out playing Fred VanVleet most nights. And I'm telling you, when Jabari gets back, I don't know what they're going to do. But I say that he's the most important player on this team, again, outside of Şengün, because of all the little things that he does. He sets the tone. He's the most athletic. I say he's the most athletic guy, and that's disrespectful to Jalen Green, because Jalen Green is incredibly athletic. Jalen, by the way, tonight, nice 26 points for him, 26 for Alpi, 20 for Fred. I mean, the starters tonight, even Dylan Brooks was super efficient, even though he only had 13. You don't need a lot out of him. And then the 23 for Amen Thompson. I mean, just everything that Amen Thompson does, though, seems like it turns into gold. Everything that he touches turns into gold. He is quickly going to make himself a household name in the NBA. And more than anything else, for the people that, tune in and see him for the first time or see this team for the first time, to me, a lot of it comes down to the effort stuff. And that's why I am overall having so much fun watching this basketball team this season, because they do all the little things. And it's led by, again, a guy like that who is a 20-year-old. He's 20. I don't want to just be spewing it out there. I'm pretty sure he's only 20 years old. I got to double check. I'm questioning myself, and I'm not usually a person that questions myself like that. Amen Thompson is, he's 21. I'm sorry. Dang. I was trying to keep him from being able to legally drink. He can do that now. My bad, Amen Thompson. He just turned, or is he just turning 22? Whatever. He's super young. He's second year in the league. That's all that you need to know. But he has played himself into this spot that I think that he is the most important player on this team. And he's the most important player as well because they ask a lot out of him and they expect a lot out of him. And he does everything. Whether it's guarding, the best player on the other team, whether it's, kind of pushing the offense at times, being the guy that's crushing the glass. He's everywhere. A big second chance opportunity there for him late with the bad shot by Alpe there in the last few seconds of the game. And clean it up and put it right back in. Huge putback for the Rockets at the time. He does everything, and it's infectious. And it's a culture setter. And when you have a guy that – now, look, again, he has deficiencies in his game. We all know that. He can't shoot, right? Like, here's the thing, though. Like, when I'm watching him – and you know what he is? He's for the talent level, and I'm not saying he's more athletic, but he's the non-entitled version of what Ben Simmons was supposed to be, right? Comes in the league like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". It's like he's like a forward, but can basically play point guard and has been a point guard his whole life. Can't shoot a lick, but is a freak of an athlete, and you'd think can get to the rim at will and do all these things at will. But he's taking his talent and he's utilizing it. And he's putting in all the small effort stuff that makes it even better. And on the defense, and then he prides himself on his defense as well. I think I knew it the first time. At the time, I was on the Rockets flagship station. I was still working there at the time. And I was on the air the night that he got drafted. We did the draft show that night. And they had him call in and we got to interview him for about 8-10 minutes, whatever it was. And I think I got like 3 questions in for him. And I think I asked the first question. I kind of set it up, asked the first question. And I could tell from the jump, I was like, this kid's got the mindset that and we're all going to like. And then you kind of kept hearing interviews as he kept going like, okay, he's might be 21, but he's not a 21-year-old. That kid, like when they say ball is life, like, he legitimately, I think, is one of those. I'm sure he goes out and enjoys his life a little bit, but I feel like he's one of those just in the gym all the time. He just wants to play basketball. That's it. That's all he's doing. And then you see with the result when you go out there and you play that way and you do all that effort stuff. This team would be, not that they couldn't survive. They have enough guys that do enough things that can pick up the slack here and there. And that's the beautiful part about this team. I mean, they're doing this right now. They've had guys in and out of the lineup, They've been without Jabari Smith now for a lengthy period of time. They were without Tari Eason for a lengthy period of time. Important players on this basketball team. Guys that, all of them play a key role, especially defensively, in those other two that I mentioned. And, it's kind of like just step up and who's next. And Amen Thompson has been, that guy. And has played himself into a role that, he's going to be out there, I really think, more than anybody. It's going to be interesting to see, teams don't respect him when he goes outside, which they shouldn't. But it's like that doesn't bother him. He still finds his way. I absolutely am a huge fan of him. And I think he's, again, played himself into a role on this basketball team with everything that he does that it's about as important as it gets. And I understand the trust that Ime Udoka has in him every single night. Let's give some love to our one of the other big men on the team. Let's give some love to Steven Adams because he also had his moment tonight. You know what? He might not get the love every single night because he doesn't play a lot and, doesn't score much. But let's talk a little Steven Adams, take a look ahead as well at the next game against the Boston Celtics. We'll do that next here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast after this big old win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, though, I need to tell you guys about TalkSpace. TalkSpace. That's right. TalkSpace. Therapy is a game changer. It can help manage stress, improve sleep, and communicate more effectively. Finding the right therapist and fitting sessions into a busy schedule can be a challenge. That's where TalkSpace comes in. TalkSpace, the leading virtual therapy provider, makes getting the help you need easy, accessible, and affordable. TalkSpace, signing up is simple. You can match with a licensed therapist who fits your needs, usually within 48 hours, and it's convenient. You can have the sessions from the comfort of your home and even message your therapist between appointments. Plus, TalkSpace is covered by many insurance plans, and for most insured members, there's a $0 copay. It's never been easier to prioritize mental health. As a listener of this podcast, you'll get $80 off your first month with TalkSpace when you go to TalkSpace.com/LockedOnNBA and enter promo code SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to TalkSpace.com/LockedOnNBA and enter promo code SPACE80 to get $80 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's TalkSpace.com/LockedOnNBA, promo code SPACE80. Locked On Rockets Postcast tonight after the big old win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm your host here, the Locked On Rockets Postcast. I am Michael Connor. Thank you guys for joining me. After the Rockets improved to 30-14 on the season with a 135-131 win over those Cleveland Cavaliers, the best team in the NBA so far this season. Well, they have been. With the win tonight for the Rockets, they technically pushed the Cavs into the second best record in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder moved to the top spot at 36-8 as Cleveland, is at 36-9. Wanted to give a little love to Steven Adams tonight. Steven Adams had himself a third quarter. I thought it was interesting. I think it's kind of I feel like it kind of shows me where the other team is at mentally and kind of up against it and desperate when they go to the Haka game. And look, Cleveland went to the Haka Adams game in the third quarter. And not only did they go for, look, Steven Adams played 2 minutes and 19 seconds in the third quarter. And he only knocked down one field goal. Now, to their credit here, the Cavs, Steven Adams is an abomination for the free throw line. He's shooting like 37 or 39% coming into the game tonight on the season. He's a career 53%. But in that quarter, he knocked down 6 of 7 boards for 8 points. Overall, 14 points and only 4 rebounds. Only 4 rebounds tonight in his 15 minutes. What are you doing, Steven? But I just wanted to point out a little bit of love to the big man because he is important. The physicality and everything that the Rockets kind of need of a guy that back up Alpi, I think is exact. You think about all the years where the Rockets struggled to have backup big men or whatever at times. I think this is probably about the definition of a backup center that you could have. Everything that you want is what you get out of Steven Adams, the enforcer, the rebounder. And tonight, look, the guy went out and he takes it personally when it happens. You gonna play the Haka game? Well, I guess he's going to knock down 6 of 7 for a guy who's knocking out 30% of them this season. Good for him tonight in this one. Hey, again, the Rockets will get going Sunday night. They will be in Boston, taking on the Boston Celtics. Of course, they'll be looking to avenge what happened last time. Last time that those two teams got together, they lost. That was back on the 3rd of January. It was a Friday night at the Toyota Center, 109-86. The Rockets fell to 22-12 with that loss. The Rockets entered this one now, having only lost 2 games since at 30-14. But it'll be a 6:30 tip. Not Sunday. I said Sunday. My bad. Monday. I keep thinking today's Friday for some reason. I'm telling you, my world now. I don't remember the days of the week. Today is Saturday. Monday night in Boston against the Celtics. I just want to see them come out and be more physical. I want to see them not like bow down to what Boston has been, right? Because Boston has been the champion. They're the defending champion. It's like, it kind of felt like the first time it's kind of like, oh, well, the champions are here. Let's just kind of, bow down and let them do their thing and respect them for being the It's not, screw that. You're the Houston Rockets. You're the most physical team in this league. And now it's the second opportunity for Ime Udoka to go back there. You want to go back up there and you want to, smack them around is what I think you should do and get a victory, because I don't want to come on here and talk about a loss. Who wants to talk about a loss? Talking about losing sucks. Doesn't happen a lot with this basketball team. It's a very different thing than we've had in the past. So again, Monday night after that one wraps up, probably about the same time that we started tonight, of course, because the tip time is the same. I always love that. They put down 6:30 tip. Okay, well, that means it doesn't tip till 6:40. Just put the actual time down. We all know that nothing tips until 10 minutes after the start time that they put down on the piece of paper. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday night. Have a fun, calm, relaxing Sunday. Unfortunately, we will not have a Texans postcast to do tomorrow because their season ended last weekend. But we do have Rockets season still in front of us. And what do you know? Baseball season is on the horizon as well, as we will have Astros postcast coming back before you know it as well. Hope you guys, again, have a great rest to your Saturday night. We'll talk again after the Rockets and Celtics Monday night right here on the Locked On Rockets post.